September 5th, and there's panic in Moscow engulfed by fires.
Russia's burning.
Good morning, everyone. We're having a bit of a fire emergency collaboration here, so to speak.
Oh, it's kind of scary, really, Czars. It's so frightening.
To get. That's what the visibility is like. You can't even see the towers. We're driving with our hazard lights and headlights on. There's nothing left to breathe, we're just suffocating.
Destroyed homes, people have been evacuated, and everything is now in emergency mode.
It's burning up above, while the car is down below in Malinovka, right next to the fire trucks on the hill. We're burning.
We've already successfully completed our initial flight, and now we have carefully taxied onto the expansive airfield. There is also a significant fire burning here, and our dedicated firefighters are diligently working right on the airfield itself, actively combating the blaze. They're trying to save the equipment there because it's very close to the helicopters and the old ones, and the situation here is also difficult.
380,000 hectares are on fire. People were evacuated from areas where the fire came right up to residential buildings and skyscrapers. This is what's happening. Where is the airport? Russians are trapped in a fiery cage. In Russia, even the cosmodrome could burn to the ground. Hellish landscapes. Several thousand people have been mobilized to fight the fires, including rescuers and about 800 smoke jumpers from other regions. 250 pieces of equipment and aircraft are unable to extinguish the fires.
The second port is also diligently preparing for its departure in the Smolensk-Tushki area. There's a significant fire, so we must continue working. Please take good care of yourselves, everyone.
Tens of thousands of Russians have been left without homes, without heat, without electricity.
Where are you going to go? Out into the field or what?
Why won't you let us fly into the fire? Really not fly!
Passengers of the flight. Aeroflot Bangkok to Moscow, they almost died. They survived an emergency landing and came under fire.
There's a war going on. War! War! Are we living in the Middle Ages or what? All airports in Russia are shut down. All planes in Russia are being turned back. All flights have been cancelled. Who's going to bring you back?
Breaking news, friends, Russia is on fire. The whole of Russia is literally engulfed in flames. A state of emergency has been declared. It's total collapse and mass evacuation.
This is what visibility looks like. You can't even see the cars. We're driving with hazard lights and headlights on. There's nothing to breathe, we're literally suffocating.
It's already right next to us.
First of all, the airport in Chita is on fire. The Chita airfield is being saved by equipment, but the situation is difficult. It's a fire emergency.
Good morning to everyone. We're experiencing a fire emergency here, to put it mildly. We've already made our first flight. Now there's a fire on the runway at the airfield as well. Our firefighters are working right on the airfield. They're saving the equipment there because it's very close to the helicopters or the second crew. The situation here is also difficult. So we're working. The second crew is also preparing for takeoff. There's already a fire in the Smolenka area. That's how things are. So we will continue to keep working diligently. Take care of yourselves.
A wall of fire near the highway in the Amur region. A powerful forest fire is raging there. Oh.
It's so scary, really. Look how terrifying it is. Unbelievable.
A hellish scene greets drivers on the road from Blagoveshchensk to Svobodny, near the village of Moskovitnoye. Hundreds of trees are burning in Moskovitnoye. People are filming what's happening. They are horrified. Russia is shocked by these images. They are no less nightmarish.
Unbelievable.
Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we're starting this segment.
We're waiting for you. Do you want to know if it's even picking up? Well, let's bring it out here to the field. Come over.
In Zabaikalsk, the region is engulfed by massive fires. Homes have been destroyed. People have been evacuated. A state of emergency has been declared. Emergency situation. In the Zabaikalsky Krai, the fight against large-scale forest fires continues. A state of emergency has been declared there. Emergency situation? According to the Ministry of Emergency Situations at this moment, there are more than 50 fire outbreaks in the region, covering an area of 380,000 hectares.
The wind is blowing toward Zabaikalsk. That's where the glitch is, where they don't take the water. On the opposite side, a wildfire in the village.
In Israelom, where the fire came right up to residential buildings. People were evacuated. Several thousand people are currently involved in firefighting efforts. This includes rescuers and about 800 smoke jumpers from other regions. There are 250 units of equipment and aircraft. The work is complicated by weather conditions and by the proximity of the fire to populated areas. Dasha buildings were damaged, dozens of homes destroyed. It is known that dozens of houses have burned down, 30 structures, another 50 plots were affected. In Chita, the administrative center of the Zabaikalsky Krai, earlier Kadala Airport temporarily suspended operations. It was simply surrounded by a forest fire which disrupted air traffic for dozens of hours. The main cause is cited as careless handling of fire during strong winds. This was reported by the region's Minister of Natural Resources, Pavel Volzin. Local Russia's Telegram channels write that the fires may be set intentionally. Russians found neatly stacked dry branches and empty oil canisters in the forests. In one of Chita's districts, 3 men were detained today. Volunteers noticed that they were driving away from the forest fire in a car. This circumstance is currently being investigated. Russians, look at this footage, how they are trapped in a fiery cage. In Russia, everything could burn, even cosmodromes, just like carved wooden houses.
Oh, how terrifying, really. Look how scary it is. Wow, that's insane.
Right now, there is a massive blaze spreading from the forest in the Murmansk region. A fire also broke out near the gas boiler house. It's almost impossible to get out of the city because the trees along the roads are burning. This natural disaster is simply taking revenge on Russia for all the atrocities it has committed against Ukraine and other countries. The total area of the fires has exceeded 3,000 hectares. It is noted that the city, with a population of just over 7,000 people, is home to employees of the Vostochny cosmodrome. The cosmodrome itself is located 25 kilometers from the city. In Buryatia, a state of emergency has been declared due to forest fires. Currently, according to the regional government, there are 30 active fires in the republic, covering an area of more than 53,000 hectares. If there are no large-scale fires in Russia, then it's not really Russia. This time, Baikal region has been hit. According to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations, the fire there has covered an area of more than 576,000 hectares. Forest fires in the Amur region have reached the new town of Cholkovsky. Right now, 15 new apartment buildings are under threat. At least 2,000 Russians live there, and they are leaving their homes on their own. There is no mass evacuation. Once again, friends, an evacuation has still not been announced in the city. Tsiolkovsky is located 15 kilometers from the Vostochny cosmodrome. About 6,000 people live there, many of whom are employees of the station. Smoke is enveloping the city, people have nothing to breathe, and a persistent wind keeps spreading the flames and hindering firefighting efforts. The fire has reached right up to residential buildings. Outbuildings and garages across the road from the new developments are already burning. The total area of the fire in the region is over 3,000 hectares.
It's really close by. That's basically right by the mill, where the animal farm is, and the forester's house. That whole area. 4 fire trucks have gone in there, and now 2 more just flew by.
Even if you drop me off in a field, at least I'll be alive, better than flying out and burning up. Passengers on the Aeroflot flight from Bangkok to Moscow first had to endure an emergency landing in New Delhi due to problems with the fuel tank. And then just minutes after landing, the Indian airport came under fire.
Please!
Don't panic. Everyone will be disembarked soon. Where in the field are you going to go? Dakota?
Field knife alive, then fly from burn, you understand? Find me some rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats and let the technical staff through. I need
Honor, just nothing more, guy.
some water, some water. Blaze and Justel, Stryker, Sick and Lead. Technical staff? Victor. Let's go. I'll check your blood pressure. You'll check your blood pressure for me. Stinky.
Stink, 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 and stink.
Of course not, of course not. Chili later, yes. Wow, she stinks, but you stink. Carricker didn't drink. Speak up. All the major airports in Russia are completely shut down, all the planes in Russia are permanently grounded, and all the scheduled flights are unequivocally canceled. So, who exactly is going to bring you safely back?
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism, and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
The plane took off for Russia, but the 9-hour flight had to be interrupted. 4 hours after takeoff, a strong smell of burning plastic appeared in the cabin. The crew was unable to quickly identify the source of the smell. One of the flight attendants came into the cabin with a fire extinguisher. Panic broke out in the cabin. One of the passengers, overwhelmed by emotion, asked for the plane to be landed as soon as possible, anywhere at all, even in a field, just somewhere. Other passengers tried to remain calm, but it was clear they were struggling to do so. The pilots decided to land the plane at the nearest airport. The aircraft was accepted in New Delhi. Before landing, the captain dumped fuel. After the plane landed safely, it was inspected by Indian airport staff, and it was discovered that there was a short circuit in the multimedia system in row 27. But after this, the passengers' misadventures did not end. Immediately after landing, India closed its airspace due to shelling from Pakistan.
We provided a very strong and highly experienced consultant throughout the entire fudge period, offering valuable guidance.
Alhamdulillah.
The plane that was supposed to pick up the passengers could not reach Delhi due to closed airspace. The racists were able to return home only 2 days later. Their plane finally landed in Moscow. The joys of life in a superpower. In Surgut, a child almost drowned in the mud. The boy got stuck knee-deep in Putin's prosperity and couldn't get out on his own. According to local residents, every spring a swamp forms in this spot, and the authorities aren't planning to do anything about it. And Gladkov accused the residents of profiting from the shelling. The governor of Belgorod region stated that some residents of border areas deliberately put their property in harm's way during shelling in order to receive compensation. There you have it, Mother Russia in all her glory. Let's take the car out of the garage. Maybe it'll get hit in the shelling. At least we'll get some money, Gladkov quoted, supposedly recounting a conversation he overheard.
Unfortunately, I've heard such conversations. Let's take it out. Our settlement is being shelled. Let's roll the car out of the garage. Maybe it'll get hit. At least we'll get some money. The cars are old. Can't get rid of them. Can't sell them. So, I have just one singular request. Yes, through these particular kinds of schemes. Yes, to demand for. Because putting personal vehicles, your own private automobiles, into underground garages, we fully understand that if there's a direct, devastating hit, there is absolutely nothing, no measure whatsoever, that you can effectively do to prevent the damage. But we also see on social media, let's demand to be relocated, otherwise the war will end and we'll still be living in these old houses. So, it is not just one, not merely two, and certainly not only three distinct settlements where we are beginning to observe a separate and emerging group starting to form. These particular groups, comprised of certain dedicated residents, are actively trying to lead and are diligently attempting to acquire essential government assistance and support. Even though, in fact, they have no grounds for it.
Gladkov ordered the Soloviki to check whether people's cars are actually in their garages. Obviously, the police and military in the border areas simply have nothing better to do, friends. What irritates the governor even more are people who, under the pretext of shelling, want to move into new housing at the government's expense. It never even occurs to officials that people simply wouldn't need any help at all from the government if it weren't for Putin's madness in the Belgorod region. If the war hadn't come, and in the collection of the underage Kadyrov Jr., there's a new medal. But there's a catch. The possible heir to the Chechen throne already has more awards than years he has lived on this earth. This one is dedicated to the 25th anniversary of the Akhmat Grozny Oman. Since everyone is already used to Adam Kadyrov being awarded something every week, no one, my friends, would have paid any attention to this medal if it weren't for the video of the award ceremony. For some reason, the Russian coat of arms was erased. The crosses. Actually, in Russia, there is an article about desecration of state symbols. Moreover, law enforcement officers are happy to use this article only against opposition members. Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and yes, happily write in the comments what you think about all this. All right, now let's take a look at an analysis of Russian propaganda. We're no longer sadists. Simonian hopes that after the negotiations in Istanbul, the bloodshed will stop. After all, before Putin, it was impossible to imagine a war with the entire West in which Russia would be winning. Putin has already put an end to hegemony. All that's left is to put the final period at the negotiations. Indeed, before Putin, no one could have imagined that Russia would start a war with Ukraine.
As of today, we are at war with the entire so-called West. We are at war. We're not fighting with Ukraine, we're fighting in Ukraine. Even Trump said if it weren't for us, this war would have ended in 3 days. Isn't that true? He did say that. So we're fighting them, all of them, and we're winning. Can you imagine that? Could anyone have imagined that before Putin? No, it was impossible. That's why for a person of Russian culture, Russian history, living in Russia, supporting Putin is a matter of pride. They think they're insulting me by saying that. No, they're not insulting me at all. The world will no longer be unipolar. That's it. The hegemony is over. And who ended it? Putin ended it. Vladimir Vladimirovich. That's exactly why we are proud to be his trusted representatives, or as you said, Putinists. To sit down, talk, and come to an agreement. That's it, and put an end to all of this. No one likes that people are dying. I don't like it. You know, I'm sure Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin doesn't like it at all either, that people are dying. And if people hadn't been dying, if they hadn't started destroying our people in 2014, this war that's happening now wouldn't have started. Do you understand? It wouldn't have started from the very beginning. We really hope that negotiations will actually take place and people will stop dying. No one likes it when blood is being shed. We're not sadists, after all.
If you've ever wondered what to give a priest as a gift, the answer is, of course, a yacht, a Mercedes, or an apartment in the center of Moscow. Well, and otherwise, just as much as you can afford. A little reminder, there's a grain of truth in every joke. Everything else is true.
What can you give a priest as a gift?
The classics, a yacht, a Mercedes, and an apartment on Tverskaya. After that you can...
Then as much as you're able.
Yes. Just scale it down according to your means.
Well,
I've given you a benchmark.
People are curious.
Every athlete should know the Olympic standards. Even a school kid. I don't know, like a school kid should run 100 meters in 10 seconds. 10 minutes is perfectly fine.
People are curious, for example. What happens? It's, well, a priest performing a sacrament, a baptism or something else. And the question is, how do you thank the priest? He says it's an awkward situation at that moment.
On the one hand, half the people curse us for having set fees in churches, and the other half curse us because there aren't any, since now no one knows how much to give.
And they quote, asking how to thank the priest without offending him.
And it always brings a genuine smile internally to my face when someone thoughtfully gives an uneven amount, which is quite interesting. It's just that, for example, let's say 100 rubles is too little, but 200 is too much. So here, take 150. And you can tell the person was bargaining with themselves inside. It's always obvious when the amount is uneven.
Dear defenders of our motherland, our humanity.
I congratulate you on Victory Day.
We already achieved victory on May 9th. And I believe that very soon we will have another victory. I wish all of you to stay alive and return home to your families. I wish you all strength, health, and of course, love. We are patiently and eagerly waiting for you, waiting with unwavering hope for peace to prevail, and of course, for our ultimate and decisive victory to be achieved.
Here is someone who has lost his mind. Disgusting. Vile, talentless, a devilish character, a petty demon, an impotent, a horse lover. Nevzorov yesterday once again buried Gherkin and then revived Gherkin. Both the first and the second went unnoticed. But the task is to hype up what's happening with the remaining Strelkov supporters. Montian, the gravedigger, and all sorts of other crypto scum from Ukraine who have flocked to our country because of the stupidity and vulgarity of certain uniformed officials who, instead of doing their jobs, sometimes like to abuse their power. Not to fight enemies, but to show off who they're protecting and why. If they knew, they would have handled it properly by now. If they knew, they would have handled it properly by now. If they knew, the entry on February 24th, 2022 would have happened differently. A lot of things would be different now on the territory of Ukraine. And of course, there will be a reckoning ahead, and after our victory, a lot will need to be done. Many names will have to be mentioned and many people dealt with. It's not really my place to speak so seriously. Undoubtedly, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief will conduct a thorough review. I just really want every foreigner to get this into their own heads very clearly. We will win. And notice during this press conference, well, statement, Putin said that this is a war.
I noticed that too for the first time. It's the first time he called it a war.
So that this doesn't spread across Ukraine, so that all sorts of scum don't read it, a video has gone viral online showing women destroying racist classics. According to them, they managed to destroy 3 bags of racist books. 2 more are still in the process. They plan to send everything for recycling.
Well, here we go. Episode number 2. What do we have here? Lermontov, Smidnik. Dostoevsky, what did it say here?
Crime and punishment.
Crime and punishment. Where's the punishment? We're taking the paper for recycling. Here are the bags. Chekhov, the one terrorists grew up on, who later gouge out our journalists' eyes and cut their throats. Rutatiana's book. Putin Alexander Garmatny in our language. The bastard Smith. That's all.
Smith Putin.
Chekhov. How could we do without Chekhov? Well, you know, we're tearing these books up, spending our precious time so that this scum, these bastards, don't spread them, so that they don't spread across our Ukraine, so that people don't read them.
All sorts of nests.
There are no Chekhovs, but here, what, Chekhov again?
Okay, we've already got 3 towers now. 2 more. We never got around to it before, but now we have.
Farewell, Pasha. Farewell, Pasha.
No one needs it.
It's just powder.
And if you burn it, it won't burn, but it's better to turn it in for recycling. Let it be turned into paper.
A small pile.
Friends, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in the comments, write a few kind words in support of Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. We will definitely win.